Hello YouTube viewers, if you want to learn some stuff about betta fish, you can definitely learn from this video. First, most importantly, you basically do have really important stuff right sitting at this table. Number one, we'll go to the medication. So basically, you can definitely give this before you even bring your fish to the betta. You'd probably give it like a day, since bettas are very small and they really can't sit slow while you don't calm down when they're at the betta. So they panic, and this is just medicine. Little pellets. And it's called Betta Fix. Betta Fix. Small container. It's 1.7 fluid ounces. And if you're betta safe. You want it takes a little chlorine out of the water. Look at our two other head starters. And here, you can definitely do this. Whenever you start doing betta, you can definitely just dump this in and put it in the cap. There's a bunch of instructions, like you're probably going to use the whole entire bottle if you have a 100-gallon tank, which most people can't even own a 50-gallon since they're so big. And same exact thing, nutrition. Not nutrition, nutrifin. You occasionally dump it in, which I'm not going to do now. It smells horrible. You always have to keep betta stuff out of your face. That. And now spotlight. The water is mostly on the spotlight. It's most importantly that you actually don't overflow your tank, since there's always a perfect water level. Since water is very important, you have to wash your tank when you take your water out. So the best thing to do every day is occasionally taking stuff out of your tank when you're cleaning it, including the gravel, since if you don't dump it out, your gravel's going to stay in place. Guess what? The ammonia and the chlorine that you don't even put to the betta safe for the nutrifin in, it's going to stay stuck in the rocks when you put your fish back in the water. That chlorine and ammonia is just going to come out. The fish is going to breathe, well, not going to breathe it in, but if it gets caught on his food, he will get sick, and you're going to use the betta fix first, and then you can definitely bring him to the vet. The only problem is you're going to have to get him calm. Like, no panicking. It's the most important thing about betta stuff. And then same thing. Bloodworms. You can't overfeed. Whenever you feed a fish, like a betta, they don't eat too much. He's really small. According to most tanks, they always bring in a little packet. Like, you can't overfeed them. Like, right there, that's ammonia. That's gonna spread. That will spread. It's bloodworms. All together. You always want to try to feed your fish by just opening it up and tapping it. Like that. And then you can always try to use the betta food, but no tapping in. You always have to use your bare hands and dump it in. Remember, you can't overfeed. The ammonia course is just going to get stuck in the rocks. It's going to dig deeper. It's not going to have a way out. The ammonia is going to spread into the rocks and gravel. And then the ammonia is stuck in there forever if you don't wash out the gravel. That's why it's so important to wash out your tank every single week. And then we'll go to your decorating. Decorating is a simple part of your tank. Bettas always enjoy more decorations since they kind of give them privacy. Like, say if they want to do something weird, they don't know what humans are doing, they get scared. You should always give them like something like this coral reef. You always have two holes. There's two holes in this that go underneath. Like, my fish can hide definitely underneath my coral reef. since he's tiny enough. So, you always want to try like small to like the size of this column, and occasionally he will get all the privacy he needs. You always can't give your fish too much privacy, and he's going to be scared that no one's around him or her, and they're going to get scared and they'll start panicking. Can't add too many decorations. The most I would say would be 6 or 7. Since fish always like being around something's living, since they always get scared if they're by themselves. You always might want to put in like, I don't know what you do. You might try to put another like Betta next to him in another tank that's going to keep him company. And so most of the time, Bettas don't like staying with other fish. They can get along with others. You should not just listen to this video just of making these guys attack for money. You don't want to do that, since that's just going to hurt the ecosystem if you take them out of their habitat. And you should always, if you're trying to put 2 fish together in the same tank with a divider, you always need to put a couple of ornaments. And first, Bettas always have to like know they're around each other and get used. And then just 7-day Betta blocks. Always great for weekly vacations. You can definitely put in like 2 if you're having like a 2 or 3 week. I don't know what the different colors means, but they could have different nutrients. And these are highly recommended for weekly vacations. So now, we're going to go to your water level. Water level is very important, because if it's too low, that filter right there is going to drop water, and if the Betta goes underneath it, it's going to damage his fins. And you can't put in too many big ornaments, because it will damage his fins, and he won't be able to move around as easy as he can now. We've had this fish, we bought him in May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So we've had him for a good 7 months. It's a really good fish. I hope he doesn't die. Hope he won't pass until the next 5 or 6 years. They would probably live 7 to 6 years in the wild, 5 to 6 as a pet. Because these fish have to get used to their habitat. So if you buy 2 tanks and one of your fish die, you should always keep a second tank. Keep switching them around so they kind of think it's like a bigger habitat. Like we have a 1-gallon tank that used to be here. And we probably would keep it here, so every day we'd move him from this tank to that tank and that tank to that tank. He never did that. But he has to like get moved to, all Bettas have to be moved to a different tank. This is really only for the males, because females, you can actually stick them together and they won't do any damage. The only thing is, you try and like swim away from each other, like tag. And most of the time, if you had 2 Bettas, first we'll just start off with the staring contest and then we'll try to get used to each other. If you want to breed, there's no way this is going to be about breeding, but I will make a lot more videos. And you can also get most of this information on Wikipedia. And don't remember, the gravel can't be too heavy or too light for your Betta. If it's too light, your Betta might be able to stick under there and he won't be able to get out. If it's too heavy, your Betta will occasionally catch his fin in the gravel. Then the gravel's going to be so heavy he can't even leave. So males always have long fins. Right now we have a male. Females have short fins. There's a big difference if you were going to breed. You should always keep a hideout if you're going to breed, or actually put a divider. It's always Bettas need to get used to each other. So, just wanted to show you. There will be multiple videos on breeding. Well, we can't even breed. But there is a lot of stuff on Wikipedia. You can actually see it as a shortcut. It'd be amazing. There's one that has like 26 pages, or is it just... steps. It's probably just steps. But there's a lot to follow in breathing. Breathing is one of the most hardest things, probably the hardest thing doing with the bettas. Since males and females, they hardly get along. And if you're going to breed, you should always keep, if your fry, which are known as baby bettas, are older than 2 through 4 weeks, you should always divide them. And sometimes you might not even know if you have a male and a female together. The only way you would know, because they the males always make a bubble nest somewhere out in the water. And then it takes a couple of weeks for your female to even get the eggs. Then it takes about a couple of months, not even a couple of months, like a month or two for your eggs to hatch. You'll have your fry. You gotta divide them in separate tanks. You could probably buy divided tanks, and those use less space with dividers. And there you go. Just want to give you some information, a tap of how to take care of your betta, all YouTube viewers. You can always save the Wikipedia documents at your shortcut. There's multiple of them, and there'll be different videos, so I hope you learned a lot just today. Goodbye, all YouTube viewers. Hope you learned a lot.